Are you ready to unlock the door to an empire that's just waiting for you? If you're intrigued by the idea of earning big by simply managing talented models and creators online, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to reveal the step-by-step blueprint to build your very own OnlyFans management agency from scratch. Let's kick things off by discussing why OnlyFans management is such a goldmine. The reason is, firstly, the potential earnings are crazy. The growth of the platform is literally insane. And not only as myself, who's come from paycheck to paycheck to making 7 figures annually with this business model, but I've also had hundreds of students replicate the same systems and processes and also be able to achieve time, location, and financial freedom in their own lives. And we've also taken models from 3K a month to 50K a month, and right now we have an agency that makes over 300K profit every single month. And the thing is, this industry is only getting bigger, it's only growing, and as more growth comes, yeah, more agencies come, but that also means a lot more talent and a lot more creators come along. Now, I just want to show you guys some results quickly before you think, oh, I'm full of shit and I'm just another online guru that makes more money and sells a bullshit course, because that's not the truth. Now, back in February, we took on this brand new client that was making around $300 a month by herself, and within just 2 months of working with us, we was able to take her from $300 a month to $78,000 profit in 2 months using simply just TikTok. So that's a case study of one of the models we work with, but I'm also going to show you a case study of one of my students. Now, this is a case study of Steven. Steven worked a 9-to-5 corporate job all his life and came to me because he was fed up of his corporate career. He tried to start an OnlyFans management agency previously by himself, but he didn't really get anywhere. However, he had a strong desire to learn my business processes and systems, and he put in the study to master OnlyFans management. And he landed a high quality model after 6 weeks of learning my systems and processes, and he made over $100,000 in his first 100 days of business. You generally can't make this up. This is not even to sound good. He generally hit $100,000 in 100 days, which is crazy.
This is the most exciting story I've ever told. Started the business, obviously, everything's been going great. And we were like, oh, we've done 100k in 100 days. We were really pleased. But see now we're doing 100k every month.
So he's gone from making $100,000 in 100 days and scaling one model to like 40k a month to now doing $100,000 a month revenue for his entire collective agency, which means he's on track this year to hit over 7 figures, which is literally insane. And here's a little video of me handing him his $100,000 award plaque. This is what I give to all my students when they cross the $100,000 in revenue generated with their OnlyFans management agency. We've got something for both of you. Stephen and Nicole Gregory 100k award. So I'm going to give this to you. Congratulations on 100k.
Thank you very much, mate.
And
thank you.
And I've also got a little surprise for you as well. Something light.
Some light.
So you can take a look at that.
Is there a brick in here?
you said you wanted one on the first ever course, so I mean,
Nah, mate, no way.
first person to cross 100k go and make
Stop.
No chance. For real?
yeah.
Oh, mate. Nah, no chance. Nah, mate, no way. Fucking hell.
So, ready to start? First, we need to lay the foundations for your agencies. Now, you're going to need a few things before getting started. Now, the first thing you're going to need is a business bank account or just a separate personal bank account. Secondly, you're going to need an LLC or an LTD or another business entity. And thirdly, you're going to need an Instagram page and or a website. Now, let's dive in. Phase 1, the setup. Now, the first step to setting up your agency is actually picking a name. Now, I know this can be difficult. Don't think too hard and too deep on it. You can use stuff like Shopify name generator to actually just get an understanding of what name to pick. Pick something simple, don't make it too long. It might be smart to stray away from using agency or management, and you might want to just use a one word. Like my agency's name is Melossom. Nothing else. It's not Melossom agency, it's not Melossom management, it's simply just Melossom. Coming up with one word like that can make a massive difference and doesn't sort of put you in a corner of just being a management agency, and you can sort of adapt and evolve with the industry, right? Now, the second part is your logo and branding. Now, with your logo and branding, there's a few things to keep in mind. With your logo, you can use stuff like Canva, which is obviously a free software I touched on, and you can get a bunch of really good templates and create your logo based off that. Obviously, once you've got your name, it's all about just creating a logo. You want to have some type of brand coherence and branding, and I would pick a few colors that is going to be your branding. Now, for example, my agency's colors is pinks, blacks, and whites, right? They're the colors that go well because we're going for that sort of vibrant pink Miami sort of nightlife vibe. And if you go to my agency's Instagram page, you can sort of see that we represent that. And I also use it in my own personal branding just to stay coherent. Now, with the branding, there's a few things that you can go down. I would either go down the sort of minimalistic route of almost like coffee shop branding in like white and black or like pastel-y type colors, or go down the sort of nightclub, strip club kind of like neon kind of sexy kind of vibe, like a 50 Shades kind of vibe, like the blacks and reds, like the neon reds, this kind of thing. And you might end up changing and rebranding as time goes on, but for now, just get that set up. Now, the last thing you're going to want to set up is your front-facing socials, and that's going to be something like your Instagram. It's going to be super important to carry that branding over to your Instagram page, because that's ultimately where you're going to be sending a lot of traffic, a lot of lead flow, and ultimately where you're going to be using different client acquisition strategies to actually get clients to your agency. Now, whether that's traditional outreach or paid ads, there's a lot of different techniques and methods to actually bring clients into your agency. Now, phase 2 is client acquisition strategies. Now, there's a lot of different client acquisition strategies that you can go into. The simplest one is simply just appointment setting via Instagram. So going on Instagram and setting appointments via cold DM outreach. For this step, I would recommend sending 15 DMs in the morning and 15 DMs in the night. Now, that's 30 DMs a day, and with those DMs, they need to be highly targeted and highly personalized. You also want to do a lot of research on these clients, and you want to find out when they're usually most active on Instagram, what their interests are, what they like. You want to like their stories, comment on their posts, and the goal is to stay persistent. After one message, they might not respond. Hit them up again, and it might seem creepy and it might seem like you're over pursuing, but trust me, outreach is all about persistence and consistency, and the entire goal is to just get in communication with these people and get an open line of communication. It can be as simple as asking them a question that prompts a response, even if you already know the answer. So for example, you might have sent an outreach, they didn't reply, and then you might say, hey Melissa, you're from the UK, right? Now, something like that is gonna prompt a response, and she might say yes because she feels like she needs to answer that. Once you got that communication line, then you can do the rest of the work and set the appointment. So you might reach out with an initial message, and then they don't see it, and then you want to hit them up again. So if they've got a story up, you might want to swipe up and relate to their story. And like I said, you always want to try and get in communication with them. Once you're in communication with them, it's a game of tennis. What I like to do is throw the ball, get the ball back, throw the ball, get the ball back, right? I do that by first sending a statement, then asking a question, statement, question, statement, question, and I'm double texting this entire time, right? And I'm looking for duplication. So I will send a statement and then a question, then get a response. Then I'll send a statement, a question, get a response, statement, question, get a response, statement, question, get a response. Now, you don't want to send stupidly long messages because that's not going to work. And put yourself in the girl's shoes. If you go through your DMs and you get hundreds of DMs and you see this super long message, it's not going to work. Split your message up, keep it super simple. I literally have one line that I send as a statement and then another line straight after as a question, and that usually prompts a response. As soon as I get in comms, I then go straight into my setting script and set the appointment there and then on Instagram DMs. If they don't reply or if they leave me on red, it does not matter. It doesn't phase me. I'll hit them up again, and I'll hit them up again. I'll hit them up again. And it's usually between the 5th and 10th touch point where you actually set the appointment. It's very rare that you actually set an appointment during that first line of communication. It usually takes a bit of persistence and effort to actually get that call booked. So don't feel disheartened if a model has ignored you, because there's so many reasons for it. Like I said, just get back in communication with them and start that open line of communication again. And like I said, you can do that by asking simple questions like, you're from the USA, right? And they're going to say yes. Boom, you're in again. So that's my advice for outreach. Now, there's many other ways that I'm not going to have time to discuss in this YouTube video today. If you do want to learn more, then you can book a call below with my team and we'll jump on a free transformation session with you and see where you're at and see what help you need and try and provide you with that help. So that's going to be the first link in the description. So go click that, book in your free transformation session and go and get some value. And also as well, I've got a free Telegram group that's private and I only accept a limited amount of people every single month. So also also make sure you go and request and join that, because I drop a lot of source almost every single day. I'm dropping brain dumps, Loom videos, and just my overall thoughts on the industry, where it's going, and giving you guys as much advice as possible, because my purpose in life is to help those often left behind. Now, there's a few other methods for getting clients, like running lead gen ads, running SEO ads, and these are more advanced methods. There's a lot of other ways to find clients, and it's not just Instagram that you can actually do appointment setting on. You can go and do appointment setting and cold outreach on Twitter, on Facebook, on Telegram. There's so many different platforms that you can utilize, and you can even utilize sites like OnlyFinder to go and find OnlyFans models that fit your client avatar and email or outreach them using the same sort of frameworks. There's also stuff like local girls, hitting up local girls in your area that might do OnlyFans that need your help, referrals from other people or referrals from other models. You can also go down the route of purchasing model contracts. There's a lot of Telegram groups out there where you can purchase model contracts. What that means is agencies will have signed a model, but they can't take her on for whatever reason. Maybe it's because they just haven't got the bandwidth to take her on. And there's also people out there that will literally just sign clients. They don't even have an agency, just specifically to sell to agencies to make money that way. Be careful with the marketplaces you use. Now, the only marketplace I recommend for this is BTZ's marketplace. I wouldn't really trust any of the other marketplaces to buy a model contract, but being truthfully honest, I don't really think you need to buy model contracts to get started. It's pretty easy to find and sign clients. That's probably actually one of the easiest parts of this business model. So phase 3, the onboarding process. And what that looks like is first, obviously, booking the call. So, setting the appointment, booking the call. I don't personally take sales calls at my agency anymore, but I know for a fact that it's better to treat those sales calls almost like interviews and not actually treat them as a sales call. You really want to be interviewing these prospects to see if they're actually going to be good clients, because the last thing you want is clients that are not putting in the work, not putting in the effort or energy to actually be able to scale, because at the end of the day, their job comes first and ours comes second, and this is a partnership, not a dictatorship. So without them listening to you and putting in the work, there's no way that you're actually going to be able to scale or get them results that they're happy with. So you should use that first initial call once the appointment's set almost as a vetting call and a qualifying call to see whether they're actually going to be a good client for you and the position that you're in. On the call, obviously, you want to answer any questions they have and any objections they might have. Once you've done that and you've sold them on your services, then you want to sign the contract. Now, it's always key to sign the contract there and then on the call. And once that's signed, you're going to add them to a WhatsApp group. We've used multiple other platforms. We've tried Agency Flow, we've tried Slack, we've tried all these professional platforms. We've just found that WhatsApp is by far the best and most practical for these models, because literally 90% of these models have WhatsApp and use it on the daily. So it's just easier to plug and play that into their life, and we use WhatsApp. And then for that, you want to have an onboarding process, whether that's with an onboarding process funnel and they can go through a series of videos and fill and forms, or whether it's as simple as adding them to a WhatsApp chat, dropping them a couple forms, whether that's to get their OnlyFans password, Instagram password, all the key things that you need on the one form. And then another form I recommend having is a chat in onboarding form, which is going to be like a questionnaire, so you get to understand your new client and you get to understand their interests and likes and the content that they offer and want to produce, and so you can pass that to your chatter so they know exactly how to chat on her behalf. Even questions as simple as height and favorite color and favorite food. These are actually going to be key questions for a lot of the chatters, so they keep in the brand and coherence with that model. And then you can even get obviously a lot deeper in terms of stuff like sex positions and craziest sex stories and all these kind of things. And these are just a few questions that you should be including in this chat in onboarding form to pass to your chatters so they know how to chat for this specific model. But the key onboarding document is just getting their photo ID or passport or driver's license, just so you know they're of age and the contract's legal. We also recommend getting a bank statement within the last 3 months. And then obviously you want to get all their details for their OnlyFans and for their social media accounts that you're now going to be running and using. Phase 4, making money or marketing. Now, the platforms that we use at my agency is TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, dating apps, and Clapper. Now, these are the key platforms that we use, but I wouldn't start off trying to do all these different platforms. We simply just started off with TikTok, and I would recommend you do the same thing. The issue I see coming up a lot, especially from coaching now over 100 students, is that people will try and do everything. They'll see one person doing well on Twitter, they'll see another person doing well on dating apps, they'll see another person doing well on TikTok, so they'll try and do all of them, when you'd be way better off just focusing on one for the first 3 to 6 months and getting really good at it and mastering that platform, and then slowly expanding into other platforms as you scale and as you expand your business. Now, if I had to pick just one, I would just go all in on TikTok. But if you have expertise elsewhere, like Reddit or Twitter maybe, I would use your expertise to your advantage and go all in on those platforms. Now, phase 5 is going to be scaling your agency. The most important part of scaling your agency is your first initial hires. Now, I would recommend your first hire be what's known as a running mate. Now, personally, I always find a running mate or a right hand when taking up a new business venture. This is a person that will follow you through the desert or to the end of the earth. This person is loyal, committed, and sees the big vision of where you're going, and it's up to you to take care of that individual and not steer them wrong. Visualize yourself as Batman or a superhero and answer the question, who is your Robin? This person may serve as a rover. You know what that is a floater role that holds multiple hats and supports different areas of the business as needed, and if warranted, may be groomed into an executive or key member as you continue to grow and scale your OnlyFans management agency. Now, these special people will often present early on in business to powerful leaders, so it's up to you to recognize those people and handle them as needed. You'll get benefits of loyalty and commitment coupled with affordable compensation. These special people will get the benefits of being a foundational member and a ticket to something big, an early opportunity before it's gone. Now, the 3 other key roles that you want to make when scaling your agency is a chatting manager and or working with a chatting agency, sales personnel, and then finally an admin / executive or a personal assistant / rover. And those are the key hires that you want to make. Now, you can either create traditional job listings to do this. You can go on places like onlinejobs.ph or Upwork and find people using those sites. It depends what your goals, visions is, and it depends what your budget is also. But you can even reach out to friends and family and work with what you've got. Just be resourceful and hire people based on the value they actually provide to the overall business and how good of a fit they are for your company culture. Because if someone has a complete different vision to you and has complete different political views and this kind of thing, then ultimately it's not going to be a good fit for your company culture. So you need to hire like-minded individuals like yourself. Now, when should you actually hire and scale? You're going to know deep down when it's time to hire and scale. Now, I would always recommend starting a business with a business partner just because it takes a lot off you and you can split roles and actually grow faster. It's better to have a smaller piece of a bigger pie than a big piece of a small pie. So I would always recommend going into a business with a business partner that is like-minded and is not going to screw you over for money and has a long-term vision like yourself and ultimately just wants to see you both do well. And like I said, you're going to know when to hire when you start feeling overwhelmed. If you get overwhelmed and maybe you're doing the chat and you can't seem to manage it, or you would think, if I was to bring on another client right now, there's no way I could keep up the quality of service that I'm currently providing for my other clients. That's when you know it's time to make these key hires and look for those roles that I just talked about, whether that's salesperson, whether that's a running mate or a rover or an assistant or a chatting agency or a chatting manager. Multiple different roles you can hire for, and like I said, you're gonna know when you start to feel overwhelmed and when you feel like you are no longer needed in that role and you need to focus on more high leverage tasks that's gonna have a big impact or make a big amount of money, and therefore you need to hire people to do the other menial tasks that you no longer want to do. So you're now equipped with the knowledge to start and scale your very own OnlyFans management agency. But before you go, don't forget to click the first link in the description below, and what that's going to do is grant you access to my free OnlyFans management training video. And at the end of that training video, you're going to get a bonus to book in a free transformation session with me and my team. Usually I charge $499 for this, but for the next couple of months I'm going to be giving it away for free. If you go to the second link in the description, that's going to give you access to join our private Telegram group where I share daily insights into the OnlyFans industry, and it's an exclusive community where we grow and learn together. So don't wait, get started on your OnlyFans empire today, and I'll see you at the top.